There are stories that make you smile. There are stories that make you cry. And then, there are stories like Fragments of Us, the kind that burn through your soul, leave scars shaped like constellations, and teach you that sometimes, broken pieces can still reflect the light. In this breathtaking new project, Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo reunite in a cinematic universe that bends time, memory, and emotion. Fragments of Us isn't just a story, it's an experience. A hauntingly beautiful journey through love, loss, and the fragile threads that connect two souls across lifetimes. The story begins with silence, the kind that feels almost alive. A rain-drenched city, the faint hum of neon lights flickering against shattered glass, and Xiao Zhan standing in the middle of it all, lost, bruised, and holding onto a photograph that's fading at the edges. The photo shows two men smiling under a cherry blossom tree. One of them is him, the other Wang Yibo. But there's a problem. He doesn't remember the man beside him. The photograph feels like a lie, and yet, every time he looks at it, his heart trembles like it's on the edge of remembering something impossible. The movie unfolds like shattered glass piecing itself back together. Xiao Zhan's character, Lian, is an artist struggling with amnesia after a near-fatal accident. His world is a mosaic of forgotten dreams and phantom echoes. The sound of a guitar in the distance makes his chest ache. The scent of rain feels like déjà vu somewhere deep inside. His soul is calling out to something, someone it once loved. And that someone is Wang Yibo. Wang Yibo plays Hanyu, a man with eyes that carry storms and secrets. Once a musician with a heart too big for the world, Hanyu now lives in shadows, composing melodies for films but unable to write a single note of his own. When he hears Li An's name during an art exhibition, his hands tremble. The past he buried starts to claw its way back. The reunion between them is nothing short of cinematic magic. The scene takes place in a dimly lit gallery where Li An's latest collection, titled the Fragments series, is being unveiled. Every painting is a swirl of color and chaos, shards of faces, moments, and dreams torn apart. As Hanyu walks in, his footsteps echo across the marble floor, and the air seems to freeze. Lian turns. Their eyes meet. For a moment time stops. Hanyu's expression fractures, 1,000 emotions flickering behind his gaze. Lian tilts his head, puzzled. "Do I know you?" he asks softly. Hanyu forces a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. "Maybe in another lifetime," he whispers. That line, "maybe in another lifetime," becomes the heartbeat of the story. It's repeated throughout the film, each time carrying a different weight. Longing, grief, anger, and finally love. As the story progresses, Lian starts to have fragmented flashbacks, pieces of a love story that once defied everything. Coffee cup shared on a rainy day. Fingers brushing over a piano. Laughter echoing in a room filled with art and music. The way Hanyu once said, "You paint what you can't say. I play what I can't feel." The cinematography captures these moments with haunting beauty. The camera lingers on tiny details. A trembling hand, a raindrop sliding down glass, a heartbeat reflected in someone's eyes. Every frame feels like a memory trying to remember itself. But Fragments of Us isn't just a love story. It's a story of identity, of what happens when love is erased, rewritten, and rediscovered in fragments. It's about how the soul remembers what the mind forgets. The plot takes a breathtaking twist halfway through. Lian discovers a sealed envelope hidden behind one of his old canvases. Inside, there's a note written in his own handwriting. "If you're reading this, it means you've forgotten him again. Don't let him go this time. Find the place where we first met." That place, a small seaside town called Qingshan, becomes the heart of the movie's second act. When Lian arrives there, the air feels different. He walks through narrow streets filled with the scent of sea salt and nostalgia. Every turn feels familiar. Then he finds it, the old music bar. Azure. Inside, dust dances through golden light, and an old piano waits in the corner like a forgotten ghost. He touches the keys, and suddenly his memories come rushing back. We see flashes. Hanyu teaching him a melody, their laughter filling the night, promises made under fireworks, tears shed under moonlight. The realization hits like a storm. Hanyu wasn't just someone he loved. He was the reason he survived. In a breathtaking emotional sequence, Leon runs through the rain to find Hanyu, the score swelling, the past and present colliding. He finds him standing by the ocean, staring at the horizon. "Hanyu!" he shouts, his voice breaking. Hanyu turns, disbelief and pain in his eyes. "You remember?" Leon nods, tears mixing with rain. "Not everything. Just enough to know I never stopped loving you." The camera spins around them as thunder rumbles, the world collapsing into a blur of water, light, and emotion. They embrace, and for the first time in years they are whole again. But Fragments of Us doesn't end there. The final act, tears open the audience's heart one last time. We learn that Li An's amnesia wasn't from an accident. It was caused by a deliberate decision. He had chosen to forget Hanyu after a terminal diagnosis, fearing that leaving him with memories would destroy him. Hanyu, however, never stopped waiting, never stopped hoping. The realization hits like lightning. Love so selfless it chose to disappear to protect the other. The final scene mirrors the opening one. A rain-soaked city, but this time, Leon walks beside Hanyu. Their hands brush, hesitant at first, then intertwine. "I don't know how many lifetimes it took for us to find each other again," Leon says softly. Hanyu smiles. "But this time let's stay." The music swells, a haunting piano and violin duet that carries echoes of every moment they shared. As the credits roll, the screen fades to black, and a single line appears. "Even when we are shattered, love remembers the shape of us." The audience is left in silence, breathless, trembling, and forever changed. Xiao Zhan's performance as Li An is nothing short of transcendent. His ability to express emotion through stillness, a glance, a sigh, a trembling hand, draws viewers into the fragile world of a man trying to piece together his soul. Wang Yibo matches him with subtle power. His portrayal of Hanyu is both tender and fierce, the quiet ache of someone who loves beyond reason. Together, they create an on-screen chemistry that is electric and haunting. Every scene feels alive with unspoken emotion, every silence filled with words that only their eyes can say. Fragments of Us isn't just a movie. It's poetry in motion. It explores how love transcends time, memory, and even death. It reminds us that sometimes, being broken doesn't mean the end. It means we're ready to rebuild something even more beautiful. For fans of Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo, this is more than a reunion. It's a masterpiece of emotion and artistry. Their performances capture the essence of love's persistence. How even when we lose pieces of ourselves, the heart always remembers where it belongs. The rain didn't stop that night. It came down like shattered glass, drumming against rooftops, mirrors, and broken memories. Somewhere in the middle of the chaos, Xiao Zhan's Leon stood beneath a flickering streetlight, holding the photograph that had changed everything. His reflection in a puddle seemed like a stranger's face. Someone he once was, someone he could no longer remember. That picture, two men smiling beneath a cherry blossom tree, had begun to haunt him. Every night, he dreamed of petals falling, laughter echoing, and a voice whispering his name. And when he woke, that voice would fade like smoke, leaving behind only the ache of something beautiful lost. He tried to ignore it at first, tried to paint over the emptiness with colors and canvas. But the more he painted, the more fragments appeared. Silhouettes of a man with gentle eyes, a melody of a song he didn't remember learning, the faint scent of sea salt and rain. His brush seemed to move on its own, painting emotions he couldn't name. And then came the exhibition night. The gallery buzzed with chatter and camera flashes, but Leon barely noticed. His mind was somewhere else, in the half-remembered world of his paintings. Each piece of art glowed under soft lights, chaotic and raw, as if each canvas held a pulse of its own. But there was one painting at the center, one that drew everyone in. Piano beneath a window, 2 mugs of coffee, and a single petal floating between them. Crowd saw beauty, but Leon saw confusion. He didn't remember painting it. He didn't even remember the face that kept appearing faintly in the background, a face that looked heartbreakingly familiar. And then, as if destiny itself decided the moment was ripe, Wang Yibo's Han Yu walked in. The camera slows, every sound fading except for the echo of his footsteps. The two men's worlds collide in a silence that screams louder than words. Han Yu stops in front of the painting, his gaze trembling. His fingers reach out, brushing lightly across the canvas, as if afraid it would vanish. Lian turns around, and their eyes meet. For a heartbeat, the universe forgets how to move. Han Yu's lips part, the word almost escaping. N. But he stops himself. He's waited years for this, years of sleepless nights and unanswered letters, and he knows one wrong word could break the fragile piece holding Lian together. Lian, sensing the pull, speaks first. You seem familiar. Han Yu smiles softly, pain hidden behind it. Maybe you've seen me in a dream. The moment stretches, long, heavy, electric. The air between them hums with 1,000 unspoken memories. Later that night, after the guests have gone, Lian finds Han Yu sitting alone in front of the same painting. Moonlight pools across the marble floor, and for a moment, it feels as though they're the only two people left in the world. Why does this painting feel like it belongs to someone else? Lian asks, his voice trembling slightly. Han Yu looks at him, his eyes filled with tenderness and sorrow. Because it does, he whispers. To us. The words hang in the air, fragile and dangerous. Lian laughs nervously, shaking his head. Us. You must be mistaken. I don't even know you. Han Yu looks away, swallowing the lump in his throat. Maybe not now. But once you did. The scene cuts to Lian alone in his studio later that night. He stares at the photograph again, the raindrops outside echoing like ticking clocks. He lays it beside the painting, and suddenly realizes something terrifying. The background of the photograph, that cherry blossom tree, is the same one in another of his unfinished canvases. He rushes to the storage room, pulling out old sketches and drawings. They all feature the same man, the same smile, the same storm in his eyes. And then the flashbacks begin, soft at first, a flicker of fingers touching piano keys, a voice saying, "Again," from the top. Then laughter, a head resting against his shoulder, and a whisper, "You make everything sound like sunlight." Lian gasps, his hand gripping his chest as the memory hits him like lightning. For a split second, he sees it all. The bar by the sea, the promise under the stars, the goodbye that shattered everything. He collapses, surrounded by his paintings, a world built out of fragments of a love he forgot but his soul never did. The next day, unable to ignore the pull anymore, he searches for Han Yu. He finds him sitting by the pier, strumming a guitar softly. The ocean waves crash in rhythm with the music, a tune that feels like something ancient, something they used to share. Lian stands a few meters away, watching silently. "That song," he says quietly. "I've heard it before." Han Yu looks up, eyes glistening. "You used to hum it in your sleep," he replies. The silence that follows is thick with emotion. Two souls remembering in fragments, standing on the edge of a story too powerful to stay forgotten. Lian sits beside him, unsure why tears sting his eyes. "Tell me who you are," he pleads softly. Han Yu's voice trembles. "Someone who never stopped waiting for you to remember." The camera captures the scene with a slow zoom, two silhouettes against the horizon, the golden light dissolving into twilight. It's heartbreak, hope, and healing all at once. As the waves whisper against the shore, Han Yu starts playing another melody, one that Lian instantly feels deep inside. He doesn't know the notes, but his heart remembers. Without realizing it, he begins to hum along, and Han Yu's hands falter, his eyes wide with disbelief. "You remember the tune," Han Yu whispers. Lian shakes his head, smiling through tears. "No, but my heart does." The shot lingers, two men, a melody reborn, and the ocean bearing witness to love's return. That night, as Lian falls asleep, his dreams are no longer blank. He sees flashes, laughter in the rain, paint-stained hands, and a kiss that tasted like forever. He wakes with a whisper on his lips. Hanyu. And somewhere across the city, Hanyu feels it too. That same name echoing in his chest, like the universe has finally started stitching their souls back together. Fragments of Us in its first act is a symphony of rediscovery. Every scene pulses with nostalgia and longing, every shot drenched in emotion so raw it feels alive. It's about love refusing to die, memories refusing to fade, and souls finding their way back, even when the mind has forgotten. Xiao Zhan's portrayal of Lian captures that perfect mix of confusion, fragility, and grace. A man who paints to remember, who aches without knowing why. Wang Yibo, as Hanyu, embodies heartbreak and patience, the quiet endurance of someone who loves beyond the limits of time. Their chemistry doesn't just spark, it burns slowly, beautifully, like embers that refuse to go out. This isn't just a reunion of two beloved actors. It's a rebirth of emotion itself. The story reminds us that no matter how many fragments we are broken into, love always finds a way to make us whole again. Sparkles, if you were moved by this story, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories about Xiao Zhan Wang Yibo and the worlds their chemistry continues to create. Let's keep the fragments alive, together.